What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 108 of Reaction Time Podcast. I'm alone today, all by my lonesome. Craig is currently dealing with When It Rains, It Pours, which is he bought a house and had car problems and blah, 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 blah. I am aware that it has been over a month since we released an episode, so today I'm going to yap your ear off about the things that I have seen over the past month, which is a lot. And I'm just going to give you quick breakdowns of kind of like how good things have been. I'm going to be talking TV shows. I'm going to be talking about movies. I'm going to tell you what to stay away from, what to watch, my thoughts. I mean, we're going to be going over things like Thunderbolts, Mission Impossible, The Amateur, Friendship, You Season 5, Silo, Reacher, all that kind of stuff. I've watched a lot of stuff since we talked last. I've finished a lot of stuff, and so yeah, we're just gonna get into it. I'm gonna work backwards, so I'm gonna work with the newest stuff that we have, but we are we're just gonna dive right into it. So I'm gonna talk first about the most recent thing that I saw, which was Friendship. Now, if you haven't heard of Friendship, that is understandable. It is a movie starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. I think, is it Tim Robinson or am I tripping? What is it? What's his name? Yes, I was right. Okay, Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. I loved this movie so much. However, I would only recommend it to you if you've watched I Think You Should Leave and you like it. If you do not like I Think You Should Leave, you will not like this movie, guaranteed. That's my current guarantee. It is basically an hour and a half long episode of I Think You Should Leave. No plot. It just exists for jokes. There are so many plot twists without having a plot. It's insane. I would give this movie like an 8.4 out of 10. And I mean, that's kind of all I have to say about it. I would not watch it alone. I think you do need to be with people. So if you are going to go, be with people, or at least like find a crowded theater so that you get like a good experience. I can see this being funny if you're by yourself, but I think it's like very similar to a lot of other movies where like if you are by yourself and then I don't know. If you're by yourself, maybe it just wouldn't be quite as funny. So, but yeah, I mean, I just think it's ridiculous. It felt kind of like a rated R Napoleon Dynamite in a lot of ways, where I don't think there was an objective of the movie, an objective of the plot, right? It just kind of was telling a narrative and then ended. But the jokes, the ones that land are second to none, and they're just those kind of ridiculous things. And so I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've given my 2 cents about it, but I think it's worth a watch, definitely, if you're looking for a good comedy. I don't know when the last time was that I saw a comedy in theaters, but this one was so good. So diving into our next thing, Mission Impossible 8, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Craig and I are going to be doing a full review of this movie next week. Barring he actually watches it, so I guess we'll see. But I'll give you a quick breakdown of it. Okay, also, if you're this far into it, no spoilers about anything at all. I'm just giving like kind of my 2 cents about whether you should watch things or whether you shouldn't. Mission Impossible 8, I would say it's like a middle of the road Mission Impossible movie as far as all 8 of them go. It's a great movie. Pretty much all of the Mission Impossibles are great, except for maybe 2, even though 2 has some really fun stuff in it, but it's just like not the strongest Mission Impossible movie. This one hits every single trope of a Mission Impossible movie, which is what makes it a great Mission Impossible movie. What keeps it from being the best one or the top 2 or whatever, I think, is just the overall plot. I think 5 and 6, even 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I know that's half the half of the saga, but those are the best ones to me. And I think those just have a really, really interesting plot, whereas this one feels a little bit too modern. And it is very much a second part of the seventh one, which is, it's AI kind of stuff. The seventh one I think is great, but it's a lot of like kind of AI stuff, and it feels very modern. And but the stunts are great, the acting's great, there is a lot of heart to it, and yeah, they just like everything you would expect out of a Mission Impossible movie, it has. And so if you are a big fan of the Mission Impossible tropes and the style and all of that, go see it, because it's exactly what you want. It's kind of that Mission Impossible has become that thing where like when a Mission Impossible movie comes out, you know what you're getting when you show up. Like you don't even have to like, oh, is it going to be good? Like, no, it's going to be good. You know that already. You know exactly what to expect. It was kind of like Phase 3 Marvel. Like when Marvel was in its prime, you just knew you're going to show up and you're going to be like, oh, I know what I'm getting. I'm getting a really cool superhero movie. It's kind of the same. It's maybe a James Bond movie where it's like, I know what I'm getting when I show up. Now, not all movies are created equal, but I just think, dude, the things that Tom Cruise is doing in his 60s for this movie is crazy. So many stunts and fight scenes and action scenes, and it's really good. It's really, really good. This what I will say, this was one of those movies where when the credits finally rolled, I like unclenched my whole body. Like I felt my butt cheeks unclench because there was a lot of tension. They did tension very, very, very well in this. Okay. So taking another step backwards in time, The Amateur. Oh, sorry, Mission Impossible, I'd probably give like a 9.1. Super, super fun. I had a blast at that movie. The Amateur. So The Amateur was a movie that I did see a preview for. I'm going to keep talking about this because I'm super pretentious, but my goal this year, if you have not heard, is to not watch trailers. Now, if a trailer pops up for a movie that I have never heard of, I usually try to like scroll away or whatever, but every once in a while you're in a movie already and the preview pops up. I have still tried to like close my eyes and plug my ears. Like I'm weird about it. Basically the test is, are movies more exciting when I have not seen a trailer for it? So far, so good. I did not see a single trailer for Mission Impossible, and it was awesome. Like I'm glad I didn't see a lot of the stunts and stuff. But The Amateur is a movie that I went to see because I saw the trailer. So I must have seen this trailer before, let's see, what movie did I see? It was probably before Captain America that I saw this trailer, Captain America Brave New World. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So got some friends together, went and saw it. Not my cup of tea. So The Amateur is Rami Malek, and essentially he's a CIA. You learn all this in the preview and stuff. He's a CIA agent, and he's not an agent. He's a CIA like data guy. Like he's a desk guy, like a nerd, and his wife dies, and so he kind of goes rogue and decides that he's going to go track down her murderers. I gave this movie, I think, what did I give it? A 6.9. I just think that the first half of the movie is really boring, and I think there's just a pacing issue. I like the premise, but I just don't think the execution of it was great. There were a lot of weird plot holes and far less action than I thought, because he's almost too, not analytical, but he's so strategic, where when he catches these people, there's no fight scenes or anything. It's just like he's already figured out how they're going to die, kind of, or how he's going to try to kill him. And So I just felt like the pacing was off. The movie was good. It was shot well. It was acted really well. I think Rami Malek is a pretty good actor. It was written well, but it's just like the actual pacing and direction of the movie kind of bored me. Here's how I know, or here's one of the ways that I know I didn't really like it that much was I invited a group of friends to go see this movie specifically. And I don't know how many of us there were, like 6 or 7. And I remember at the end of the movie, I felt a little embarrassed or guilty that I had invited people to this movie. You know how like if you show somebody, like you like take somebody to a restaurant and they don't really like it, that feeling where you're like, oh dang, I like suggested this and I vouched for it. And not that I knew anything about this movie, but it's just like I thought it was going to be good. And everyone else liked it better than me. So also take my opinion with a grain of salt. So they were all like, oh yeah, I liked it and stuff. So I was the outlier, which is maybe good, but I would probably not, I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it. I think there's so many movies that are kind of similar or try to do similar things that are just more exciting to watch and are more rewatchable. Whereas this is kind of, I don't even think it warrants a singular watch just because there's nothing or almost nothing in it that is like, oh, like the whole movie is lame, but there's this one scene you got to see. Like there's not even that in it. And maybe that's what it was lacking, was like a little bit of flair or something to remember it by. So that's The Amateur. Taking another step back. I've seen so many movies. I'm very proud of myself. Thunderbolts. If you were one of the billions of people on this earth who did not go see Thunderbolts, you are missing out way more than you think you are. I fully understand that Marvel has taken a serious drop-off since Endgame, and we've really, as far as movies go, you know, the inarguable great ones basically have been like Spider-Man, No Way Home, Deadpool, and Wolverine. And there are others that have made like, you know, a lot big box office numbers and stuff, Guardians 3, but other than that, I mean, I think people are experiencing a huge Marvel fatigue right now, and I think that is why this movie has flopped at the box office, which honestly is like, to me, super sad, because this really is like, it's definitely a top 10 Marvel movie, and there are like 50 Marvel movies at this point, maybe less. But this might be like a top 7 for me. And it's going to lose like $100 million at the box office because I think people are so fatigued. This movie is, it basically it hits every single thing I feel that makes a Marvel movie good, except for like a huge interconnectivity with what's going on, which is what Marvel has been lacking over the last few years. But the acting is incredible. The writing is incredible. The comedy is incredible. The choreography and action is incredible. This has probably the best Bucky Winter Soldier moment in all of Marvel. It's got some of the most compelling characters. It deals really well with humanity without being a very like cheesy plot. And so I think like that's when, like, if you think of the Marvel movies that have been the best, it's that perfect blend of stakes and action and comedy and humanity, kind of like the more realistic nature. Like I feel like one of the reasons Marvel succeeded over DC, and I know there's a billion different reasons, but I feel like one of the things is just regardless of how heavy or consequential the stakes were in a Marvel movie, there's always like some lightheartedness and some relatability to the characters, and even the gods and the superheroes would like poke fun at each other or make little jokes, whereas you watch pretty much everything DC post, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy, all the main stuff has been super dark and serious. And there's just like, yes, I know we love punching and flying and that kind of stuff, but when you miss out on that like relatability and that like ability to connect, I think you miss out on just a desire to like be involved in the franchise. And I feel like each one of the main characters in this movie, you learn about their life and their mind and just kind of why they're choosing to do what they're doing. And it's just, it's great. This is one of Florence Pugh's best movies. This is one of David Harbour's best movies. Wyatt Russell, who like Wyatt Russell's tough for me because I've only ever seen him play hateable characters. So in my mind, I hate him, but I think he's a perfectly lovely person, but it's just hard to get that off of my mind. And so, yeah, I'm bummed that people didn't see this movie because it is so good. I would say I'll do a list, but I would say this is probably a top 7 Marvel movie. It might be like number 7. And maybe it's a little bit lower, but it's really, really good and has one of my favorite quotes, but I'm not even going to spoil that. So highly recommend Thunderbolts. I do think that it's leaving theaters like in less than a week and is going straight to streaming because they're losing so much money on it, which again, shame on the people who haven't seen it. But at the same time, I understand why you wouldn't go if you're kind of like, oh, I'm through with Marvel and these all seem like B-list characters in Marvel anyway. So last thing I'll say, I think this movie was like the new Guardians of the Galaxy 1, where they're making a movie based around kind of unknown characters. Like if I walk up to a random person on the street and I say like, do you know who Ghost is in Marvel? Or do you know who Bucky is? Like most people aren't going to know. But it's like Guardians worked because, well, obviously for a lot of reasons, Guardians was great. This is on par with the first Guardians movie, I think. And so Marvel's just in such a different place that people now just didn't have the desire to go see it. So kind of a bummer, but a big recommend. If you have time to go see it in theaters, I would, because I think if you have the desire to see Marvel succeed, I would go, show them with your wallet, because I think, and a lot of people think, that this is a very, like this is the direction we'd love for Marvel to start going in. And it has really good audience score. It's got a 93% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is crazy. That's like one of the highest rated Marvel movies. So go see it. It's phenomenal. It's a really lovely, detour from where Marvel was headed. So, okay, next up. I went and saw Revenge of the Sith, the 20th anniversary in theaters, and that movie is phenomenal. If you have not yet, you should go listen to our Revenge of the Sith episode that came out about 2 years ago on May the 4th. So we'll give a full breakdown there. But anyway, it's still so good, and I still love it. So we're going to talk about a few TV shows real quick. Oh, also, sorry, real quick. Saw The Electric State on Netflix. It's as bad as everybody says it is, so stay away. Just stay away. That's all. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about a few of the TV shows that I've been watching. Wow, there's so many. And I would never be able to do full reviews on all of this because I just literally do not have the time. But I'm gonna cruise through them real quick. First of all, I'm watching Invincible right now. I'm towards the end of season 2. Invincible is one of those shows that I had heard about, that I heard was great from a few people, but didn't know how interested I was. I thought I was not interested until I watched 10 seconds of this show and then realized how interested I truly am in it. Invincible is a cartoon superhero show, and I cannot explain to you how good it is. A lot of superhero shows that are cartoons are kind of made for kids, whether they're good or not. I think about like X-Men, like the old 90s cartoons where it's like they're still great, right? The Spider-Man cartoons, the new Spider-Man cartoon, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, was super good. It wasn't quite as good as Invincible, but still very, very good. X-Men 97 was really good. But like these are things that are still made for kids. So they're still a little bit light, but they have a lot of the good stuff. Invincible, it has the visual styling in some ways of a kind of a nostalgic old superhero cartoon, but is made for adults. It's rated R. They say bad words. There's a lot of gore. It's if you've seen The Boys, it's The Boys, but it's animated in a lot of ways. Invincible has so much heart and like not real, but like compelling storylines, which is crazy. I thought it was going to be, when I heard about it from people, I thought it was going to be a lot of punchy, bloody, like superhero stuff. But there's so much humanity in it. It's crazy. It's incredible. It's super gory, which I know is weird to say in like a cartoon setting because there's not a lot of that outside of like anime. And I don't know, I hate anime, but even inside of anime, it's just not, there's not as much gore in cartoons. But in this one, it's like crazy. But I cannot explain to you how good this show has been. I'm not done with it yet. When I'm done with season 3, we'll give a full breakdown of it. But if you're okay with that kind of like TV mature stuff and you like the nostalgic feeling of superhero cartoons and stuff, it is the show. It is. There's not been a slow episode. There's no filler. It's, just so far, I'm almost done with season 2. It's just start to finish has been incredible. You season 5. So I love You on Netflix. It has been such a good show that has been going on for so many years. I want to say season 1 was like 2018 or 19 probably came out. And the 5th season just came out last month. And oh my goodness, a TV show finally ended a show correctly. After season 4 ended, my wife kept saying what she wanted to happen. She's like, there's only one way, that this should end or whatever. And that exact thing happened. And it was 100% the right call. And what's fun about that is I look at a lot of other TV shows like that, and it just feels, obviously I don't watch everything, but it feels like 75% of TV shows nowadays end terribly. And I don't know why. It always feels like the finale is either a letdown or they're trying something different, so they're just disappoint the audience. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, why didn't you just do like what everybody wanted? And then I think, oh, maybe they know better. Maybe they're ahead of us and they're seeing things we aren't. But then I see a show like You that ends correctly, and you get the satisfaction of not just what you wanted, but like just kind of almost what objectively should have happened. And you realize that no, like ultimately, if you're making kind of a mainstream entertainment media or something, I don't know. I think you have a responsibility to your fans to deliver. If you're making a low budget art piece, like do you and make art for you. But if you're doing something that has a established fan base, I do think like you owe the fans stuff, right? And I'm not saying like legally, but I'm just saying there is, you have a societal obligation to deliver, which I think is fair. And they did. And it was so fun. And there was just plot twists and all that. So You is also great. You is also, a little bit mature, but I would recommend every single season. I thought it was fun start to finish. I'm not saying it's a perfect show, but it's a very good show. And season 5 just absolutely delivered. I also watched Reacher on Amazon Prime, on Prime Video. Reacher is a perfect TV show. And I know that that's so subjective, and I know that that can mean a lot of different things. What I mean is it perfectly accomplishes what it sets out to accomplish. I'm not saying that it is the most clever TV show. I'm not saying it made me cry the most. I'm not saying it should win any awards. What I am saying is Reacher is a show about like an ex-military dude who keeps getting wrapped up in solving these mysteries and punching and shooting people a lot. And it does it so well. That's all it is. There's no reason to overcomplicate it, and they don't. My favorite way that it was described, I was listening to somebody talk about it, and they said, what's so great about it is every line of dialogue I could summarize in my head in 3 words, you know? And it was so simple. And what's his name? I was going to say Alan Rickman, which is not his name. What is his name? Alan Richson, R.I.P. Alan Rickman. Alan Richson is, first of all, so big. What a large individual. He is, let's see how big he is. He is 6'3", 240 pounds. He gained 30 pounds for this role. So he's probably it says season 2 of Reacher, he was closer to 240. He's huge. He's just massive. And so there's like a part of that also makes it so good. Like Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher was super fun, but there's something so different about having a guy who is just huge. And Tom Cruise is 5'7", so it's literally kind of the opposite of Alan Richardson. But if you want a show where it's kind of it's not dumb, it's not a dumb show, but you feel like you can kind of shut your brain off a little bit and just watch like some mystery and a lot of action and some really good fight scenes, put on Reacher. It is so incredibly good. And the numbers speak for themselves. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the 3rd season had the highest viewership, I think not of any show. It had really high viewership of any show on Prime Video. Like it might have been their 2nd or 3rd most viewed show on that streaming platform. So let me see if I can find something real quick. So yeah, it had 54 million viewers in its first 19 days. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here you go. In its first 19 days, Reacher Season 3 on Prime Video achieved 54 million global views, making it the most watched returning season ever on the platform. This figure also surpasses previous seasons and is the most watched season on Prime Video since Fallout. So if that doesn't speak for itself, then I don't know what does. So I'm just saying, if you like that kind of stuff, it is phenomenal. It feels very like Tom Clancy, kind of that thing. So, and then I think the last thing that I'm going to talk about is, real quick, is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which was on Disney Plus. And actually, I'm going to talk about one other thing. On Disney Plus, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I already talked a little bit about it, but just a great like 90s nostalgia, great portrayal of Spider-Man, and just like I felt like I was 6 watching the Spider-Man cartoon again, you know? So just really fun, and I'm looking forward to season 2. The last thing that I will mention, 2 more. I forgot there's 2 more things. Dave Filoni just absolutely cooked again with Tales of the Underworld, which is a Star Wars short series. It's the 3rd one that they've done. So they first did Tales of the Jedi, which was phenomenal. Then they did Tales of the Empire, which was not very good because when they do about lame characters, it's lame, which shocker. And then Tales of the Underworld was really cool again. So just like an animated Clone Wars style series, really short, 6 episodes, each of them like 15 minutes. That was very good. So I'd recommend watching that if you're a Star Wars fan. If you're not going to like it. So skip it. Speaking of Star Wars, Andor. So here's the deal with Andor. I'm not done with it. I'll finish it. But here's the deal. The first season of Andor Okay, this is what I'll say. Andor is a great show. It is terrible Star Wars. It's horrible Star Wars. The reason I say that is it misses out on almost everything that Star Wars is. First of all, Star Wars is not a sci-fi, it's a fantasy. It's about the Force and the mysticism around it and family and that kind of stuff. And Andor is just a spy thriller set in the Star Wars universe. Again, really well-made show in every single way except for nailing the vibe. Andor feels very much like a Marvel show, and they brand it as, oh, it's Marvel. And then it's actually about a guy who owns a hot dog stand that was destroyed in the Battle of New York. He doesn't have any superpowers, and nobody with superpowers even shows up, and they're not even actually mentioned at all. But he is battling the insurance company to get his hot dog stand covered. And it cost him $700 million to make it. And it's really well written, but there's no superheroes and no mention of them. And it also does not have the same vibe as Marvel. That's what Andor is, right? Yeah, it's well made, but like it just misses the mark completely. So the first season of Andor was really boring, had like 2 good scenes. Otherwise was just kind of okay, cool. Congratulations on talking forever. Season 2, the first half was more boring than season 1. And then you get into the second half. I have only seen episodes, in the second half, I've only seen episodes 7, 8, and 9. So I'm still missing 10, 11, 12. 7, 8, and 9 are very, very good. They feel a little bit more Star Warsy because they incorporate a little bit more of just like Star Wars aspects. They even have kind of a Force-sensitive person. So they're bringing that mysticism in just a little bit more, although they're still kind of ruining it by making it more of like they're like bringing it a little bit more into like holistic vibe lady versus actual Force. And I'll also, obviously, to each their own. Star Wars means something different to everybody, but just as a genre, it's Andor's wrong. But I do think 7, 8, 9 were very good. A lot of good action and a really cool theme, although they just basically remade Les Mis, but with less singing. Not no singing, just less. That sounds like a joke, and it's not. But otherwise, I mean, I will finish it, but I'm still just like, first of all, how did this cost you $700 million? Why did you give 10 times the budget to Andor versus Kenobi? Because here's the thing. If they had made Kenobi with the budget of Andor and with the care of Andor, but with the themes of Star Wars, can somebody tell me why that would have been bad? Because that would have been it, like big time. But it wasn't. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all the things that I'm reviewing right now. I just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going down. There are some things that I have not seen yet that I really want to. I want to see Sinners. I want to see Lilo and Stitch because I've heard some things that make me kind of angry. So I want to go see that and like check up on how mad I'm supposed to be. And then obviously, like, we have some very exciting months coming up, especially July, which is going to be hosting Jurassic World 4/1 of the new trilogy, Superman, which I'm so back and forth on whether that will be good or not, and then Fantastic Four. So it is going to be jam-packed. We have so much to talk about. Again, apologies, Craig has had more important things to do, basically, which is totally understandable. And so we will be back. I'm really hoping we're back next week. But otherwise, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. We're at Reaction Time Podcast on both of those. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. And we still do tournaments, and we still post videos and all sorts of stuff. And so just your interaction is greatly appreciated. So I I will leave you off by telling you what reaction time actually stands for, because it does stand for an acronym. And that acronym, reaction time, is actually Reacher eating amateurs, captains taking invincible orthopedic neurons, the impossible mission ends. Tom Cruise said that once. Okay. Thanks for being back. Love you all. Goodbye.